Hi. Welcome back to day 3 of Podmas, where I post an episode every day leading up to Christmas to help us get through the holiday season and maybe even enjoy it. If you have a story or a question you would like to share, please feel free to click the link in the show notes and let me know some holiday madness that you've experienced. Because today we're talking about overcommitting. Overcommitting to holiday plans. I went over it a little bit in day 1 of Podmas, and today I'm going to tell you a little story about last year, my Christmas of 2022, and my deathly cold that didn't leave my body for months. It was leading up to Christmas. There was a lot of plans going on per usual, a lot of commitments. And this is something I'm learning, is that I shouldn't push myself all the time when I'm sick. And I could literally just tell people I'm sick and then I could just not go. But you know when you have a cold and it's not that big of a deal and there's like a little bit of a cough to it or just a little bit of a stuffy nose. And at that point, you're kind of taught as a kid to just walk it off and still figure out life. That's where I have been. So I was just overcommitting to all these plans. Eventually, I did bail on the bigger group hangouts because I was like, first of all, I'm going to get everybody sick. Second of all, I just cannot do this to myself. There are only so many things I can do in a day. And so I bailed on certain things, and I want to sit here and normalize the guilt, the friggin' guilt that comes out of me when I have to cancel plans. It's something I'm really working on, and I know choosing myself and saying no is the best decision to make. Saying no is saying yes to myself. All these quotes, I love them, but I struggle to live them. And recently, actually, I was gonna go hang out with some family members, and they're my parents' age, so it was I was going to be the only 22-year-old, which is fine. But literally the day of, they text and they're like, hey, I just wanted to give you guys the heads up. One of the family members has a bit of a cold. He's had it for a week. It's not getting better, but not getting worse. It's just a little bit of a cough. But because of COVID, I just like to give people the heads up. And I am like, God frickin' bless you. Whoa, I can do that? Sometimes you just don't know what you can do until you have it modeled for you. And I literally said to my parents, I was like, I kid you not, last night I was watching TV and thinking to myself, I'm so glad I'm not sick. Because I have struggled with colds. Last Christmas, it was bad. I literally had a cold from December, and then it would get a smidge better, but pretty much not better. And I would just stay sick from December to March. There were other things at play. I was dishonoring my body. I was forcing myself to go to a bunch of events that I didn't need to go to, or I shouldn't have gone to because I wasn't feeling well, or mentally and physically my body was like, we're not supposed to be going to these. It was a whole thing. Wow, this is all really connected now that I'm thinking about it. So anyway, I was like, Mom, Dad, we shouldn't go to this hangout. I didn't say we shouldn't. I said, I'm not going to go, because I was like, I finally am not sick. I enjoy not being sick. I also know that I'm trying to do a lot with Podmas. Posting an episode every single day takes a lot of effort and takes being healthy. I need to be healthy to be able to do this. So I'm just trying to be way more cautious and not get sick and just take care of myself. So my parents were like, nope, my dad's going on a trip too. We just need to make sure we're all healthy, we're all good. Let's bail. And it's a hard decision to make because you just make these plans sometimes so far in advance, and a lot of times everyone's really busy, and so you really have to coordinate your schedule. So then when you cancel, you're like, okay, are we not going to see each other now for another month? Which sometimes, yes, that is the reality. But I'm trying to get more comfy in my body and saying I need to say yes to myself, and that requires saying no to other people a lot of the time, which is a hard decision, but one that I want to feel less guilty about. And I just hope this normalizes for you that it's okay to struggle with this, but the feeling of canceling a plan and getting to go, now I get to have some time for myself. It is unmatched. It is so worth honoring yourself. And other times it's really good for your well-being to push yourself and go see somebody, because it can really bring some endorphins up and dopamine hits, and human connection gives us those things. And so sometimes it's hard to balance the line of should I make myself go to this, or I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Or should I should I honor myself or should I like bail on this and stay home? It's all a challenge. And the thing with the Christmas season and the holiday season is that we can easily become overcommitted to plans. That is the whole lesson of these first 3 days of fucking Podmas is Podmas. That is my biggest lesson, is that like I just become overcommitted. Half of it is my fault. Another half is like obligation to family because I still live with my parents. Oh, baby. Not living with your parents, man, you must have so much more autonomy over your holiday gatherings because you get to show up alone. You get to leave alone. Maybe. Who knows? Depends on everyone's situation. But one day that'll be my life. One day I'll be like, hey, mom and dad, I'll be there for Christmas dinner at 4:00. And like, then I get to leave whenever I want. That's just so new to me. I live with them. So I got to do everything they're doing pretty much for the most part, because pretty much all they're doing is seeing the family that I'm also related to. So take what you can in terms of the autonomy you have over your decisions. Similarly to how I didn't really intentionally do last year, but fell into, was canceling certain plans with certain friends because I was like, you know what? I saw you 3 days ago and I know I don't get to see everybody now in this group, but I have to pick and choose because my brain is going to explode. Despite what you may think, based on what I'm doing with Podmas, there's only so much I can talk. Truly. There's only so much energy I can give in a day. I know recording this episode, I'm going to need a bit more quiet time today because I've just been blabbering on and on and on. So I'm working on getting more intentional with how I spend my time, what family gatherings I go to, what events I commit to, and making sure that I'm trying to fill my cup in the midst of the process of it all, which we will talk about self-care and filling our cups in future Podmas episodes. And I also think everyone understands bailing on plans during Christmas time because everyone is committed to things. Pretty much most people have to do something the day of or the day before. Also, being in a relationship adds this whole other element of like, okay, so we're going to do a friendsmiss. Yeah, that's a word. That's a word people say. A friendsmiss with your friends. And then people have been like, oh, like, has Josh come to like your Christmas dinner? And I'm like, no. He can do his thing. I can do my thing. Eventually one day, obviously, we'll be splitting the time between the two, which I'm getting overwhelmed even talking about this. I'm like, can we bail? Can we just go on a trip? I don't know. All these people are going on trips. I'm not going on any trips. My dad just went on a November trip. My brother's on a trip. My mom might be going on a trip. I don't have the money for a trip. That's okay. Maybe next year. Embrace the season of life you're in. We're all in different seasons of life. Okay, that's been enough singing for today and yesterday's episodes. I love you. I'm here for you. I want to remind you that you got this and everything's going to be okay. And I hope you are finding a laugh or some entertainment out of these wild Podmas episodes. And I will see you tomorrow. Happy December 3rd.